The cremation ground was immersed in dark shadows, where the fire was performing a fierce dance. In front of the Aghori, who was performing a ritual with a garland of flowers in his matted hair and a body smeared with ashes, Vikas was invoking someone with his eyes closed, as if calling upon an unknown power. Then, a shadow slowly approached Vikas from behind. Its long black hair covered its face. Vikas and that girl placed a strange garland around each other's necks. This is the story of a man who had mastered the Karn Pishachini. Maharashtra's Thane district native Vikas Shinde worked as a driver. This story is from about 14 years ago. Vikas Shinde was not happy with his simple life, while his wife Neha had no greed for more and always prayed for the peace and happiness of their home. Vikas was getting ready to leave the house when Neha came with a prayer plate and applied a tilak on Vikas's forehead. "What's the use of prayers? These things have no meaning," said Vikas. Just then, his 10-year-old son came there and said, "Papa, the school fees are due and my school picnic is coming up." The teacher said to deposit 2,000 rupees. Hearing this, Vikas said to Neha, "Did you hear? How can I manage all this with a mere driver's job?" Saying this, Vikas left from there. It had become night, and Vikas had to leave for home. Vikas was thinking that if he could get a fare towards home, he could save some money for his child's school fees. Just then, on the highway, he saw a hand waving. Vikas was happy inside, thinking that now he would get a fare, but his happiness didn't last long. He stopped the car, and there was a Baba with a frightening appearance, perhaps an Aghori. That Aghori Baba said to Vikas, "Son, I need to go 2 kilometers ahead. I am very tired. Will you drop me?" Hearing this, Vikas said, "Do you have money?" "I don't have money, but I have much more than money to give you," said the Baba. "In today's world, money is everything. All right, if you don't have it, I'll drop you." "Come, sit," said Vikas. The Baba sat in Vikas's car, and their journey began. The Baba said to Vikas, "You seem very troubled. Tell me your problem. Perhaps I can help you." "Forget it, Baba. What can you do to help me? I'm tired of this life. Driving a taxi every day, going here and there and here. There's no joy in life," said Vikas. "You will have joy. You gave me a ride. Now I'll take you on a journey. Whatever you want will happen. Tell me, do you have the courage?" said the Baba. "I have a lot of courage, Baba. But what can you do for me?" said Vikas. "Don't think of an Aghori as mad. I have many things, many siddhis. I will perform such a sadhana for you that you will play in gold and silver. Midnight, Amavasya, Baba's call." Vikas, with grand dreams, arrived on time to the Aghori's camp, where the rituals had already begun. Seeing Vikas, the Aghori said, "You've come, child. Now do as I say. Today, I will perform the sadhana of Karn Pishachini. She will come here and be yours. She will give you everything. Everything. She will whisper people's secrets into your ears. What happened, what will happen, what has already happened. She knows everything. You will get people's secrets from her, and by revealing those secrets to people, you will become a millionaire. A millionaire." He took off his clothes and sat in front of the Aghori, and as the Aghori instructed, he started chanting mantras. Then, behind Vikas, the Karn Pishachini slowly approached him. Vikas was about to put a garland around that girl's neck when she said, "Wait, first 3 promises, then I will be yours. If you break any promise, everything will be taken away. I will leave. All the wealth will go, and even your life may be at risk." "I promise," said Vikas. "You will not tell anyone about me," she said. "I promise," said Vikas. Like a wife, You will satisfy only me, and that too whenever I want, she said. I promise, said Vikas. The third and final promise. You will never ignore me, never leave me, she said. I promise, said Vikas. Saying this, Vikas put a strange garland of bones around her neck. The Karn Pishachini extended her hands, and suddenly, a similar garland appeared in her hands. Putting the garland on Vikas, she said, Now, I am yours, until death. Vikas stopped near the taxi, and the Karn Pishachini was standing with him too. Just then, a big car stopped near Vikas. Its driver asked Vikas, Sir, how do I go to Goregaon? I've lost my way. The driver was saying something when the Karn Pishachini said something in Vikas's ear, and Vikas said to that car's driver, There's a minister in the car, right? Tell him that in tomorrow's cabinet meeting, he is going to get the home ministry. Hearing Vikas's words, the minister sitting in the back lowered the car window and said, Hey, how do you know there's a cabinet meeting tomorrow and that I'm getting the home ministry? If it happens as I say, call me on this number, said Vikas. The next day, Vikas was getting ready to leave the house when some police came to Vikas's house. Vikas got scared, but in just a short while, yesterday's minister appeared in front of Vikas. He gave a bag to Vikas and said, Baba, take this devotee under your shelter. I took your words lightly yesterday. I was just an ordinary MLA, but by your grace, I have become the home minister today. From today, I am ready to do whatever you say. Vikas's wife Neha was watching all this in amazement, but Vikas's eyes were only on the Karn Pishachini, who was smiling at Vikas. As soon as the minister left Vikas's house, Vikas opened the bag. There was 1 lakh rupees in cash inside it. Poverty's over, Vikas declared. This is nothing. More will come. But Neha interrupted Vikas and said, But what did you do that they gave you so much money? Stop counting the tricks. Eat the mangoes, said Vikas, and he left with his taxi. In the taxi, the Karn Pishachini was sitting with Vikas too. She whispered something in Vikas's ear, so Vikas stopped the car in front of a bungalow. From the gate of that bungalow, a family was putting luggage in a car to go somewhere. Just then, Vikas shouted loudly, Don't go! If you go, your death is certain. If you have to go, go tomorrow. Hearing this, the man putting luggage in the car said to the guard, Hey, who is this madman? Remove him from here. Just then, that man's wife said, Since morning, I've been feeling some fear, and now this man suddenly comes here and says such things. Please, let's cancel today's plan. Saying this, they went inside the house. It had become night, and Vikas came home. He said to Neha, Serve the food. Neha and Vikas were eating when the Karn Pishachini said something in Vikas's ear, and Vikas left the food plate as it was and went out of the house. After a while, he came back home again, and in his hands were a bottle of alcohol and some food items. He opened the items he brought, and there was chicken, big leg pieces of chicken. He started eating them and drinking alcohol. Neha was watching this entire scene in astonishment. Neha said to Vikas, Since when did you start drinking alcohol? And you're eating like this as if some animal eats. Hearing her words, Vikas got up, slapped Neha hard, and said, You won't stop me from doing anything. And if you do, I'll do the same to you. And one more thing, from today, you will sleep in the other room. Lying near the wall, Neha started crying seeing all this. It had become morning. The wife of the man whom Vikas had warned in front of the bungalow yesterday said, Ajay, listen, come quickly, see this news. Both sat on the sofa watching the news. India's passenger plane has crashed. So far, 30 bodies have been recovered. Both were shocked seeing this news and sent the guard to find out Vikas's address. Vikas was getting ready and sitting on his sofa when that couple came to Vikas's house. Finally, I found you. You saved my and my wife's lives. I will always be grateful to you. I didn't know that you were such a great seer, said the man. Looking at them, Vikas said, I know everything. What is happening? What will happen? Vikas had removed the temple from the house, and over this matter, Neha and Vikas had a fight. But Vikas, full of arrogance, didn't listen to anyone now. Now people started knowing Vikas as Antgyani Baba. Within a few months, Vikas Shinde's name spread far and wide. Hundreds of people started coming to him to know their future. He bought a very big house. He had everything. He was no longer a taxi driver. He had become a very big man. Vikas felt the impact too. Big personalities came to him with their questions, and in return, those people started giving Vikas a lot of money. Vikas had everything, and because of that, arrogance had gripped him. People were waiting in the court for Vikas to arrive. After a while, Vikas reached the court too. Just then, a boy from a big family came forward and asked Vikas, Baba, I have a girlfriend named Nikita, and I love her more than my life, but nowadays, she keeps avoiding me and doesn't even answer my calls. Vikas gestured with his hand for him to stop and closed his eyes. As soon as Vikas closed his eyes, the Karn Pishachini whispered something in his ear, and Vikas said to that man, You love her more than your life. So what are you doing with this Nikita? 2 girlfriends, enjoying life. Hearing this, that boy was stunned. He asked Vikas, Baba, how do you know this? I know everything. I am Antgyani. You love her for wealth, right? Don't worry, she will die soon, and the property in her name will be yours. But yes, don't forget to put half of it in my donation box, said Vikas. Continuing his words, Vikas said to the people present, Everyone, go home from here. Come tomorrow. Just then, the Karn Pishachini standing beside him started saying something in Vikas's ear. But Vikas, in his arrogance, stopped her. As soon as Vikas stopped her, the Karn Pishachini came into her true form and said to Vikas, I had asked you for a promise that you would never ignore me. You have broken the promise. You will have to face the consequences. Saying this, she started laughing loudly in Vikas's ears and screaming. Vikas covered his ears, but the sound of her laughter was so loud to Vikas that blood started coming out of Vikas's ears, and he fell unconscious there. Neha summoned the Aghori Baba. That Aghori said to Neha, Your husband wanted to earn a lot of money very quickly. Now, call him. The Aghori saw Vikas standing on the bed and said to him, Why, child, where did your courage and money go? Vikas fell at the Aghori's feet and said to him, Baba, I don't want wealth. Free me from this Pishachini. I will never be greedy for anything again. The Aghori started preparing for the Haven. He made a ring-like yantra on the ground, made Neha and Vikas sit in the middle, and said, Listen carefully. Until the Haven is complete, do not step out of this yantra under any circumstances. As soon as the Haven started, the Karn Pishachini came there, and, trying to scare Vikas, said, No matter what you do, I will drink your blood. Hearing her terrifying form and voice, Vikas and Neha started trembling, but they had decided that no matter what happens, they would not get up from there until the Haven was complete. But then they saw their child, whom Neha had sent to her maternal home, crying and standing at the door, calling them, Mummy, Papa, please save me. She won't leave me. Hearing his voice, both their hearts melted, and they were about to go to him, when the Aghori blew the Haven ashes all over the room, and that child turned into the Karn Pishachini. Her screaming and crying sounds started coming. She started walking in the fire. In a short while, she turned to ashes, and the Aghori said, Son, you are free now. We are Aghoris. We have no greed for anything except devotion to Lord Polinath. But you ordinary people get so immersed in greed and desire that you don't think about what's ahead or behind. Now install God in your house and worship with devotion and ask for forgiveness for what you have done. Saying this, the Aghori left.